So we're at the point now where they've already given us the Sunview Resort, represented by this equation, the cost, and this is Lakeside Inn right here. We just figured that out. And I am going to erase this because I need more space. So hopefully you got that. If not, just rewind the previous video and you can get it. Okay, so it says which venue charges less per student? So we need to remember what that slope stands for. Okay, this one, it tells us two prom venues charge a rental fee plus a fee per student. This is the fee per student. This is the fee that they pay at the very beginning, like the down payment, and then it's $10 per student. This one is a $300 down payment, and it's $12 per student. So, which venue charges less? The Sunview. Sunview charges less per student. But again, they have a higher down payment. So somewhere in there, they're gonna cross. If these were lines on a graph, one of them is, this one starts lower, but it's more steep, and they're gonna cross. And this is how we answer this question. How many students must attend for the total costs to be the same? Well, what represents the cost? That's y. So in order for the cost to be the same, the y's have to be the same, and then we can put them equal to each other, okay? So I'm going to take 10x plus 600 equals y, it's the cost, and I want the cost to be the same, so I set these two equal to each other. And we're going to find out when they cost the same amount. So if I subtract 10 from both sides, 10x, I get 600 equals 2x plus 300 minus 300. So 2x equals 300, x equals 150. Okay, so if 150 kids go to prom, it doesn't matter which place they go. It's going to cost exactly the same. If it's more than 150 kids, then they're probably going to want to choose this one because the slope is not quite as steep as this one. But if it's under 150 kids, this one is more worth it. Okay. So, let me go back just for a second. We had, I'm just going to write over this, y equals 10x plus 600. This was Sunview. This is Lakeside. And in the next slide, they're asking a question. This is for you to try. And maybe this is really confusing. Just give it a try. See what you come up with. Okay, it says, what if Maple Ridge charges a rental fee plus $10 fee per student? The total cost is $1,900 for 140 students. So this $10 fee per student, that kind of sounds familiar. There's another place that has that, right? That is Sunview. So they both charge 10 per student. But let's do an equation for Maple Ridge, and let's compare the three. So this is $10 per student. That's my slope. And this is going to be a point on the line. All right. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y minus 1900 equals 10 times x minus 140. I distribute that 10, and I get 10x minus 1400. I'm going to add 1900 to both sides. Y equals 10x plus 500. All right, I'm going to write it under here. Y equals 10x plus 500. That is at Maple Ridge. Okay, well, if I have, look at these two equations are almost exactly the same. The difference is, at Sunview, the down payment is 600, and at Maple Ridge, it's 500. So, which one would be better? I mean, they're exactly the same, except this one's gonna get more money. So just between these two, I can already cancel this one out. And now I can compare these two. So it says, describe the number of students that must attend for the total cost at Maple Ridge to be less than the total cost at the other two venues. Well, we've already taken out the two venues, or this venue, I'm sorry, because we know this one's cheaper. So now I'm gonna compare these two. And just like last time, we gotta find that point where we know that they're the same price. So I'm gonna set them equal to each other. Subtract 10x. 500 equals 2x plus 300. Okay, and I get 200 equals 2x divided by 2, x equals 100. So this time, it's 100 kids. So if we were to graph the two lines, let's say we graph them, and we've got the starting point at Lakeside right here, and this is going to be a really rough graph. Okay, and we've got the starting point here. This slope is not as steep as this one. So let's say it goes like this. Okay, this one is more steep. So let's say it goes like this. Right here where it crosses is where there's 100 students. So if there are under 100 students, we want this one, right? We want Lakeside, if it's under 100. But if it's over 100, we want this one, because it will be less money in the long run. So I hope that makes sense. You'll have either one or two problems like this on your homework. Okay, homework. This will be in big ideas. So you don't have to necessarily write this down unless you want to do it by paper. I try to put a little cartoon on everything at the end of all my lessons. Of course you can't read it, but this just says, just a darn minute, yesterday you said that x equals 2. Ha ha ha, just in case you couldn't read that. Okay, if you have any questions, I told you those 5 ways that you can ask. A great way is to put it on the discussion module in Canvas so that everyone can see your question, and other people probably have that same question. So give it a good shot.